Hey everyone, how are you all today? Today I am doing a video that is inspired by one of my favorite influencers here on YouTube, Tati Westbrook, Mrs. Glam Life Guru. This is the finished look. We are going to hop into the video. If you love this look, if you love Tati, if you love learning about makeup, different makeup looks, learning about makeup, please like and subscribe to this channel and keep on watching. All right, we are going to do a full face inspired by Tati Westbrook. Her YouTube channel is one of the first YouTube channels I started watching when I started really diving into makeup as a hobby. I like to call myself a makeup enthusiast. I like to try all different types of makeup. And so when I was just, really starting to look into different products and things to try, she was the first channel I started watching. So my makeup look today is going to be inspired by her. I am going to be using some of her products, and I'm going to use some of her techniques that she uses when she does her makeup. I'm also going to incorporate a little bit of Scott Barnes technique into my makeup look because that is what she also does sometimes with her makeup look. We're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to start by using, now a lot of the products in this video are going to be products that Tati has talked about in her videos in the past that she's recommended and things like that. So the first is going to be this Catrice Prime and Fine Smoothing Refiner Primer. Tati likes to use the Tarte Pore Filling Primer on her nose and kind of in her T-zone area. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to push that in. Now with this primer, you do have to kind of work with it a little bit when you're putting it on, pressing, blending. It is something that does take some time to just kind of blend in. Otherwise, it'll leave kind of that color on your skin if you don't take your time. So now I'm going to start my foundation, but I'm going to do the Scott Barnes trick that she did with him. She did a few videos with him, but one is where he does her makeup, and actually in that video they had some people on Twitter ask questions for Scott, and I actually asked a question for him, and she asked him my question in her video, and that made me feel very giddy because I love Tati, and I was super excited to hear what he had to say when it came to what his favorite drugstore item was. And it's actually the Neutrogena sunscreen spray, which I'll pop a picture up on the screen, and I will also link that video down below so that you guys can see why he loves that product. But I was really excited when he answered that question on her page. All right. I definitely learned a lot of cool things from him in that video. I've learned a lot of things from her. I'm actually going to take a brush here. I'm going to use this angled brush, and I'm going to line my lips like he does in that video with her. Now this, I find that Tati's kind of aesthetic is this bronzy, glowy glam looks, which I love. That's one of my favorite types of makeup looks to try to achieve. But I will say, for someone that maybe is not into doing such extreme makeup, that there are ways to tone down this type of look and make it more natural, but this is a lot of, this can be a lot of makeup. Don't feel like you have to do this type of look because you don't. It's all about what you want to do with your makeup. So don't feel like, you know, if you see this video and you're like, man, that looks like a little too much for me, that's okay. I will do videos in the future that will show how to take this type of look and kind of tone it down and make it easier for somebody who's a beginner. So I have contoured the perimeter of my face. That's gonna really give some nice shadow and depth. It's gonna carve out the chin. It's gonna slim the nose. It's going to shorten the height of my forehead. So I'm going to take this and blend that out. Now I don't want to blend it out too much because I want the pigment to really stay on the skin, because when I put foundation over, that will help it peek through underneath the foundation. She does this Scott Barnes full technique in her videos sometimes. I like Tati because she does a lot of versatility. In the early stages of her YouTube videos, you know, on her channel, she did a lot of videos of drugstore shopping, going into the drugstore and buying a bunch of things with deals, helping and showing you how to, you know, achieve a lot of makeup without spending a lot of money. She also does high-end reviews, makeup reviews, best, you know, high-end items and things like that, which I really enjoy. For contour, I'm going in with the Instant Age Rewind concealer. She's talked about this on her channel. Now I'm going to take this up on my nose. Now this, like I said, this look is definitely not a natural look. This is going to be more glam, really doing a lot of highlighting and contouring in these pre-stages with these types of creams. Doing right here on my chin. Now doing highlight here on the chin really brings the chin forward, and it also with the contour helps carve out that shape of the chin, really making it sharp. I'm going to do a little bit here just to carve out that contour and lightly down the center of my nose. And then I am going to take a brush, or actually, you know what? I'm going to use the Tati Blendiful for this part. She's done videos using her Blendiful doing a full face. You can do a full face with the Blendiful. I've done it. I just find, you know, for different looks and different types of looks, different tools I prefer to use over others. I really like this Blendiful tool when I am doing more of like a natural everyday look, because it just really softens things in a way that make it look more natural. For more glam things like this, I do tend to use things like, you know, brushes or even beauty blenders. I am going to use a beauty blender here in a moment, but for these high glam looks, I tend to use brushes because they deposit a little bit more of the pigment. Whereas this Blendiful, as you can kind of see, really just softens it. I'm going to do it a little bit over my eyes. As I was saying about her videos, she does a lot of different types of videos. She does unboxings of all of her PR so that you can kind of see what's coming up. She does videos with her husband, showing his like favorite products and things like that. She does, you know, weird gadget videos, like weird makeup gadgets, you know, hair gadgets, things like that, you know. Stuff that I really find entertaining. All right, I'm gonna go back in with the bronzer just a little bit here and here, a little bit there, and just lightly, I'm gonna flip the Blendiful over and tap that. See how it just, it's blending it, but keeping everything there and just soft. All right, so now I am going to actually apply some of this cream Honest Beauty cream cheek blush. This is in Rose Pink. She loves this blush. She uses it a lot on her channel. She uses a lot of the different shades, but this shade I really like, and I'm going to use my sponge for this. I'm just going to dip the end of it in there, you know, really kind of circle it around and start to put some of that right on the cheeks. Now this for me is just, I'm going to reapply more blush later, but this is just laying the foundation down. So now I'm going to go in with foundation. I'm going to use the Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation in the shades Rose Ivory 415 and Rose Vanilla 435, and I'm going to do a little bit of a mix. I'm going to use the darker one on the perimeter of my face and use the lighter one on the inner portion of my face. And I think I'm gonna do kind of a blend of the Blendiful and a brush for the foundation, because I really like the effect that a brush gives, but I'm gonna soften it up with the Blendiful. So, stippling motions, don't forget your neck. Just patting, as you can see, I'm just lightly patting over those contoured areas. Just see, lightly tapping so that I'm not completely covering up that bronzer and the concealer that I had already laid down. Just very lightly. I'm going to take the lighter shade. This is one of her favorite drugstore foundations, and I completely agree with why, because it's just such a versatile foundation. It wears super nicely. There's so many things that you can achieve with this type of foundation. You can, you know, wear a light layer for a more natural look, or you can, you know, wear a couple of layers to really build it up. You can put some in your moisturizer to make a tinted moisturizer, like a BB cream. Now I know it looks like I've kind of covered up a lot of that bronzer, especially on my nose and a little bit here on my cheeks, but I am going to actually take the Blendiful real quick and just kind of pat over everything to soften it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to take whatever is left on this brush that I used to blend it and just bring a little bit of that color back. just patting and stippling. You notice I'm not doing a lot of buffing, just a lot of stippling motions. And you can see that immediately it starts bringing some of that underlying pigment back in. I love using creams because it really gives the effect of this is coming from within. This is your skin but better type of moment. And not so much as look at all of this makeup. All right, and I'm going to do a more of a buffing motion underneath my neck and sort of down my neck, because I really want to make sure to bring that color down so that you're not looking like you're two separate colors on your face and on your neck. So now I am going to go in with some powder. I am going to first do, I think, a little bit more of concealer underneath here and here, just a tiny bit with the Blendiful, and just tap that in to conceal that darkness a little bit more right there. Then I'm going to take the CoverGirl Advanced Radiance powder. She loves this powder to use underneath the eye. I will say mine broke, so I am just going to dust whatever's left in here onto this brush. I did dump the broken pieces into a container because I wanted to save it, because I'm still going to use it. I don't mind if it's broken. So just going to take this right under my eyes, a little bit on my forehead, down the nose and chin, just lightly. Take the sponge and just sort of help melt that powder in to the skin. Okay. For the remainder of my face, just to set that, I'm going to use the Coty Airspun loose face powder. Like I said, one of her tried and true holy grail powders that she's featured on her YouTube page. I'm just going to dip my powder brush in there lightly, tap off the excess into the lid, swirl it around, tap it off again, and just start to tap into the skin lightly, just to set everything in place. Now this powder does have a very strong scent, so just be forewarned of that if you decide to pick up this powder. Making sure to just lightly tap. Now you're noticing I don't do a lot of sweeping motions unless I am buffing something in, because I don't want to pick up any of the cream products or anything that I had already laid down underneath. I want to make sure that I'm just lightly tapping that and stippling it in. That way you're not going to pick up anything, you're not going to create any lines or any, you know, patterns or anything on your face. That could happen if you just go in heavy-handed and sweep your brush around. So now I am going to take the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and bring some warmth back into the face where that bronzer was initially. Tapping off the brush, and again doing these light stippling motions and really bronzing up the face. I find that her aesthetic, like I said earlier, is just a super bronzy, natural, glam eye type of look. And I really like that look for myself as well. But lately I've been into a lot of cream products and trying to make this a lot more natural. Now I'm going to take a little smaller brush, this one for the moment, just dust off and just start lightly outlining where that contour was on my nose, just to bring some life back into the nose. And as you can see, it kind of slims that nose and makes it look more snatched. This look is definitely Scott Barnes look, that's natural bronzed appearance, and I like it. All right, so now I'm going to go in with that cream blush again, taking it on the Beauty Blender, just really getting enough on there and building that up. I'm really into blush lately, whereas in the past I've not been a big blush fan, but I've been getting more into it. I already have redness underlying, so I don't do a lot of blush because I feel like as the day kind of goes on, that redness appears on my skin. But as I found more products that have been working for me, I've found that I've been able to use blush and it doesn't look like it's too red. I'm going to take this powder brush and just kind of go over the edge here of where that bronzer was, just to blend a little. And I'm going to be using the Revlon Skin Lights in 201 Daybreak Glimmer. This was a newer highlighter that she's really been into, and I can clearly see why. It's an amazing drugstore highlight. It gives this beautiful highlighted effect. She loves highlight, and I love her for that. She also loves glitter, which I love glitter, so I'm all for that. So I'm just going to really bring that gleam on, using whatever's left, going over the perimeter, and here we go, this side. Starting to bring that, pow! Look at that. So good. Now I do have texture on my upper cheek back here. So highlighters that are super beaming sometimes can emphasize that texture, but this one really doesn't emphasize the texture a lot, which, you know, that's great for me, and I love highlights, so I want to make sure that I'm using highlighters that are not going to emphasize the texture, but still give me that beautiful effect. Just a little bit on my Cupid's bow, all over, and like I said, just really putting that on. All right, so now that we have the base kind of done, I am going to start with the eyes. So of course I'm going to be using Tati Beauty's eyeshadow palette, Textured Neutrals Volume 1. Beautiful palette. I'm in love with this. I use this so much. So the best part about this palette is that you have every texture possible. You have mattes, you have this sequin formula, which is just a slight bit of shimmer in it, you know, but very soft. A metallic, you know, all of these shades of metallic, and then of course, like I said, glitters. She loves glitters, so I am definitely going to be using this today. So today for a look, I think I'm going to do a halo eye. So I am going to start by taking this Scott Barnes brush, number 62 blender, and I'm going to, as usual, start with the Soothe shade right down here. Uh-oh, I forgot to prime my eyelids. MAC paint pot. I'm actually just gonna do one lid primed and one lid not primed. And you know what I'll do is we are gonna see how well these shadows do with primer and without primer. Not what I wanted to do, but since I forgot, that's okay. We're just gonna see how things turn out. See if a primer is necessary and how things lay without. All right, so my left is going to be the primed eye and my right is going to be the non-primed eye. So I'm gonna go back in and just start depositing color into the crease. Really getting a good base down. All right, onto the primed eye. I'm already noticing just a little bit with the primed eye. It is a little bit more tacky, so I'm having to deposit the color in a tapping motion first before I can start to do this blending motions. So now I am going to take brush and I am going to dip into trying to decide if I want to do a purple or a brown. I tend to typically go for browns, but I think today maybe I'll do Poet. I'm going to take Matte Poet and dust off. And I'm going to start to achieve this halo eye. As you can see, super easy to deposit color and blend. I'm tapping, I'm doing light little circles and just getting that color laid down. What I'm looking for with the MAC Paint Pot eye primer versus non is the longevity that the eye look wears, if there's any creasing that starts to appear. So far I'm only seeing this, like I said, the prime side is just a little bit tackier and is holding the color fairly well. Doing little circulars. Now I am going to start getting into some of the shimmery shades here. I'm going to take a flat brush like this, and I'm going to start by going into the Soothe metallic, and I'm just going to start building up that halo in the center. So I'm gonna grab I hope that you guys feel like I've gotten better with the mirror so that you're able to see what I am doing. Taking that, I'm not wetting. That's the great thing about this palette is these metallics are just super shimmery on your own. You don't even need to wet the brush. And I'm just starting to build up that center halo, that shine. Take your finger and press over the edges if you feel like it needs a little bit more help blending. Okay, so now I have that. Now I'm going to take the Aura, I'm going to show you, the Aura Metallic here, and just pop that over top directly in the center to really bring out that brightness. Can you see what that did? It just automatically brightened up that center just a little bit more. Now, if you so choose, you could have left it at just the Soothe Metallic if you wanted that more warm feel to your halo eye, but I wanted a little bit of brightness to pop in the center. Beautiful. Hop into the glitter. So I'm going to do the same effect that I did with the metallics with the glitter in the center of the halo. So I'm going to start with the Soothe, and I'm going to use my fingers for this because I find that with these glitters, it's better served to use your fingers. That way you can just tap and press. You don't have to swipe or pull, you know, and I also find that you get a more pigmented dip when you use your fingers than you do with a brush. So, like I said, I'm going to take the Soothe on a finger. I mean, just look at that. Beautiful. And just start in the center, just tapping, tapping. Not doing a lot of tugging. Same with the other side. I mean, just the littlest touch into the pan. So now I'm going to take the Aura glitter up here. Now this one has a little bit of multiple colored reflect in it. It has some green, some purple, some, you know, silver. So this should really brighten up that center. And I'm just going to dab directly in the center just to bring that little extra brightness. Fluff my eyelashes just a little bit because some of the glitter did fall on the lashes, which is okay, but you want to make sure you clear that off because as you can probably see already, some has already fluffed down onto my face, which some people hate that. I don't mind. I just try to sweep some of it away quickly without dragging. And you can see a little bit that cleared it away. A little bit. All right. So now that my eyes are done, I'm going to dip back into this angled brush, wiping it off. And I'm going to use this to fill in my brows. Now she does this too. Sometimes I'm going to dip into that Ritual shade just lightly and just start to brush that through my brows just a hair to give them some definition. Like I said, brows, I just try to do whatever's quick. I'll take a comb later and just comb through them just a little bit to help blend things together a little bit better. I lied, I went and got a spoolie. So now I'm just gonna blend that. And actually that combo is pretty good for my brows. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set the face and see if I need to add anything else. I'm actually gonna do a little bit under the eye today. I typically don't because I prefer that kind of look of just the top, but I think since this is bold, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it bold. So I'm gonna dip into the Soothe and just start right under, blending. I am going to keep it kind of thin because I don't want to make it too smoky. And again on this side. There, see, look. All right, so now I'm going to kind of do the same effect that I have with the halo. I'm going to dip into the Poet Matte and right here on the outer and just sort of blend that and smudge that. I will take a fluffy brush here in a moment and kind of mesh that together so it's a little bit softer. This little pencil brush here is great for detail like this, but you would want to go back in to blend. The funny faces you make when you're doing your eye makeup. Sorry if I look like a clown. So now I'm just going to dust off that brush, that little pointer brush, and I'm going to go in with the Aura Metallic, that lighter metallic shade, and just sort of pop it right under, right there. Just sort of highlight that a little. I'm gonna take some of that highlighter, the Revlon Skin Lights, and highlight the inner corner of my eye. And I'm gonna use my finger, I think. Yes, look at that. Just brings a pop of color right there. Brightness to that inner corner. Ooh, look at that. All right. And then I'm gonna take the brush and do a little up here on my brow bone. Look at that. All right, here is the face. I'm going to now go ahead and spray with the Wet n Wild setting spray. Photo Focus, love this stuff. She has mentioned this setting spray in one of her best videos, best drugstore videos, so I wanted to use that today. She also loves the Pixi Milky Mist spray from Target. It's a great spray. I use it in my skincare. I also use it to kind of refresh my makeup throughout the day. I actually just ran out of that bottle, so I need to get more, but that is also a great setting spray that she uses and recommends in her videos. I'm just gonna reassess the situation and see if I want to add anything else. I think I'm gonna just sort of go back over this corner with the bronzer. I'm going to take that beauty blender and tap over. Use whatever's left on the highlighter brush and just kind of bring it back to life just a little. There. Today I'm going to be using the Essence False Effect Lash Princess mascara. She loves Essence mascaras. She also loves the Collab, the pink mascara from Sally's Beauty. I had that one, but I ran out, and so I purchased this one to try. I do like this one, but I find, because my eyelashes are long, that they do transfer just a little. So I'm gonna do a light layer here because I am going to wear lashes today because Tati loves lashes. And I want to make sure that I am doing an homage to her in this whole video, so I want to make sure that I am doing that as well. I typically only wear lashes for special events, you know, things like that, fancy occasions, but for today, for this video, I'm gonna wear lashes. But first, I think, yeah, actually, I'm gonna do the lashes first. So for lashes today, I have the Ardell Demi Wispies. She mentioned these in one of her videos. She uses a lot of drugstore lashes, to be honest, and I can see why. You know, it's a great way to go. You're not spending as much money on lashes, especially when you wear them often. If you do wear them often, you know, that's a great way to go. Today I'm using the Duo Lash Glue. Now there's one that's green. It's a tube and has a brush in it that I want to try, that I've heard is good for beginners. Now I'm not necessarily a beginner when it comes to lashes, but I've heard that it makes applying lashes easier. This glue does dry down slower, so you really have to give it a minute. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry. So the purpose of letting the eyelash glue dry a little bit is going to make it so that when you actually apply it to your lid, it's not going to be moving around, causing the glue to move around on your eye. You want it to be tacky and stick, but still be not super movable where you're moving the glue all around, but enough so that you can really adjust it to your eye. All right, so I'm going to, now that I've fanned that, I'm going to, there's one lash. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other lash, and then I will be back in a moment. All right, so lashes are on. I'm going to apply another coat of mascara underneath just to blend the eyelashes together and to conceal the band a little bit more. There we go. Just going to fix that little bit, there you go, and push up the outside. So that is for lips. I'm going to use the Milky Color Statement lip liner in 04 All Natural, one of her favorite lip liners from the drugstore. Like I mentioned in my previous video, just going over the lips with the lip liner so that the lips will stay in place. Now for lips, in a recent video, she mentioned these L'Oreal Paris Rouge Lip Inks, and I love them, love them, love them. I'm actually going to do a combo of shades here, the 440 I Choose and the 416 I Create. I think I'm going to do the I Choose, which is a more pinker tone first, and then put the lighter one on top. I'm going to use my finger to just blend that in. And then I'm going to take the Eye Rule, which is more of a nudie pink, and go right in the middle. And again, I'm going to take my finger and blend out. For lip gloss, I'm going to use the Hard Candy Plumping Serum. This is a great lip gloss. You can get it at Walmart. This shade is in the shade Sunkissed. It's like this light peach with a gold reflect. These are really great lip glosses. She's also mentioned these. Like I said, all of these products she's mentioned in videos of hers in the past. Just going to do a little here in the center. All right, so here's the finished look. I'm gonna put my hair down and we are going to sum this whole look up. So here's the finished look. I am really loving how everything looks today. Very bronzy and glowy and a beautiful glam eye look using that Tati Beauty eyeshadow palette. Got the eyelashes on, just feeling really glammed up. Like I said, this whole makeup look is inspired by Tati. And I just hope that I did her justice because I love her videos and I love her look and her aesthetic. She's a beautiful woman and, you know, she does her makeup so beautifully every single time. And so I hope that, you know, this look really does her justice because I feel like this look really is her aesthetic. It's this beautiful glam, got the glitter, got the glow, got that Scott Barnes glow going on. Hopefully this natural look does her justice. So again, a lot of these products are drugstore, but you know, drugstore is great, and I have a lot of drugstore. I do have some higher end things, which I will be showing here in the future. So again, full face, inspired by Tati Westbrook, Glam Life Guru. I will link everything I talked about down below. I would love it if you would like and subscribe to this channel if you're interested in seeing more videos like this. If you have any questions that I can answer for you in upcoming videos, please leave those down in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I hope you all enjoyed the rest of your day. Bye!